Kings, queens, everybody in between, you know what it's time for. Clout.WAV has returned. Woohoo! My birthday being Saturday, so there's going to be a lot of upbeat energy. Not because I feel like giving the energy. It's because, well, you know, when people say they're going to take you out to expensive restaurants, you're not going to say no. I mean, surely I wouldn't. Have you seen the prices of a regular McDonald's? Is like $35 for two people these days. All right. So someone's going to treat me to like Papados or something like that. Ruth Chris. Who am I to turn it down? But that being said, that's then. This is now. Subtle Fraudulence. How you been, man?
It's very nice that the Christmas is coming up soon so that I can have a break from the good old 9 to 5 and all the hustle and bustle, because people just for some reason get a lot more frustrating around this time of the year.
Oh yeah. And for some reason they look at you like it's your fault.
Oh yeah.
They come in there like, how are you the customer? You came in there on a mission. You had a checklist, a guest list. You had everything that you were supposed to get in a text message you could look back to and verify. And you gonna look at me and not even know what you want? And look, I'm happy to help. When I did retail, I'd be happy to help. We can figure this thing out. But when you come in there not knowing what you want, and then I course correct, problem solve, de-escalate the situation, and give you the opportunity to make an informed purchase, you then look at me and go, well, I don't think that's what I want. And it's like, okay, madam or sir, what do you want then? Well, you know, they got this thing, I think it's called the Xbox 360. Do y'all have any of those? Ma'am, 4 years ago, that'd have been incorrect and wrong. You sure you don't mean the Xbox Series? No. It specifically said the first one. Actually, it's called the One. You are having a tough time, ma'am. It's tough, especially when you have to explain it to people who aren't necessarily informed. But at some point in time, you got to make sure your children just write it down, bro. Just write down exactly what it is and take a picture of it. Teach them, Grammy, how to take a screenshot. Just show them the picture. It'll save everybody headache. No one's got to get embarrassed, and everybody can move on. Because the worst thing is when the employee is sick of you, and then you get an attitude because you were making this 20 times harder than it needs to be. Christmas shopping can become a nightmare. I've seen it. There are people about to get their souls snatched at Walmart. I'm over here just trying to buy my toiletries, pleasantries for the road, in case we got to take a trip soon. All of a sudden, I see people screaming at each other because somebody doesn't know what a PlayStation is. But, you know, I don't know why you in the bread aisle asking for a PlayStation, because I guess they thought it was a toy, not like a piece of like tech. But hey, maybe they thought they was only going to get away with spending $18 for a little plastic thing called a PlayStation, only to realize they was going to have to give up that Sony pony money. But that was then, this is now. And I just want to say, I want to start this off. You can clip it if you want to, but there's this whole nipple gate that's going on Twitch where people are like, oh my God, the breasts, they're oiled, they're everywhere. Oh my God, the nipples are out, the sensor bars here. Think of the children. And look, folks, I see you now. I hear you, and I see these pleas of we have to stop this, and this needs to go away, and we need mass bans. All right, cool. Why don't y'all have any of this same energy on Twitter? Twitter's got the same age limit. You got to be 13 to get on the site. There are kids everywhere. I could be posting something that's like, wow, does anybody remember this when they were a kid? And it did the dark. Clearly a kid-friendly zone. Bunch of blue check marks. Watch how the pussy lips spread out as I bend over. Oh man, I remember when I used to cosplay Dora, and it's them with a backpack getting their back smashed, and it's like, where's the same energy for this? Because y'all don't have it. Y'all be on the platform of Twitter complaining about Twitch. But now I don't see the Save Twitter campaign. I don't. Y'all can't even get the bots out of here. Furthermore, Some people are like, yeah, well, I don't like the fact that like these breasts can traumatize the children. Trust me, some of these kids have been breastfed for basically a third of their life. So if we being honest, if breasts were going to traumatize them, that had happened already. That's number one.
Breasts
number two.
Traumatize children. It's just not possible because one, they don't have the like sexual concept of breasts until it's taught to them, which happens after puberty usually. So they just see it as like, oh, that's that's my mom, or that's a person. Oh, they're naked, whatever. That's it. Like they don't have a concept of any sort of sexualization for it to like traumatize them. But yeah, as you were saying.
Number two, once again, this goes back to the parents. I gotta ask y'all, what are y'all just not observing your kids? Like, I ain't saying you gotta be in the same room and just hound them every 10 seconds, but like y'all don't do these checks, y'all don't do sweeps. Because we're in an era now where most parents, y'all got to be tech savvy a little bit. Y'all got phones, and I know you know how to use them at this point. So I don't want to hear, well, I just didn't know. Maybe you should be checking in on little Timmy and see what they're up to. Giving 13-year-olds infinite access to the internet, that's insane. That's wild to me. Because at the end of the day, there's porn on your cable subscriptions. Mm-hmm. And if your little Timmy just so happened to be thumbing through the channels, goes to them high numbers, see some Skinamax action, you're not going to call up your cable provider, how dare you have this channel? It's like, brother, you do know that's on the package. Sorry, bro. I know during the day they show us stuff like Jumanji, a lot of stuff with Dwayne Johnson. But at some point, there's got to be some personal accountability within the household, number one.
Yeah, those things happen when the kids should be in bed, so...
And then you have the main issue that a lot of people are talking about. It's like, yeah, but these people are skirting the rules. And yes, they are skirting the rules, and they should be dealt with accordingly.
And they are.
However, there are some of y'all I remember who are so upset at this, were pushing gambling on those same kids that you are so worried about today, that you picked up your ball and you went to kick.
Also,
so you can continue doing that.
Let's put this in perspective, because as soon as I saw people like complaining about like the twerking and all that stuff, some people have taken it in weird ways. Like for example, like Inzem, the Dragon Ball player, he turned his Twitch channel into like a 24-hour like twerking channel, and so it's just like random videos of like women twerking, and it's like 18 plus or whatever. It's like random videos of like women twerking on the Twitch channel, and that's it. Like that's all I've seen out there now. And some people have done that. They've just made Twitch channels of like, 24-hour twerking, but twerking is allowed. And
bro, they got twerking emotes in Fortnite. Like,
yeah, like immediately in my brain, I was like, okay, but when Kai Cenat has like a woman on his stream who starts twerking, what are you guys gonna do? You're gonna be like, oh shit, Kai's the man. And without missing a beat, like he had Nikki on, and like that was like her intro. Now mind you, it wasn't like as explicit as like people would expect of her, but she gave a little twerk action when she got on there, and then she proceeded to be the queen that she is. And also, like, I don't know if they had planned this beforehand or whatever, but like her little like a bit of being Queen Nikki and like being very like I don't know, standoffish, I guess, or like mean to him or whatnot, it involved a lot of interesting commentary. Like at one point she asked him about his nails. She's like, hey, do you have nail polish on? He's like, what? Nah, I don't got no nail polish on. She was like, okay, why are you being so defensive? Like, you have clear nail polish on. He's like, what? He's like, no, that's not nail polish. She's like, no, that is. And it's okay. And you're reacting like this because you're insecure or whatever. And then they had like a little talk about masculinity. It was just very simple stuff. People aren't going to complain if like their favorite streamer has like women on there twerking or whatever, because they're like, no, that's the dude over there. He got it down. See, he's being the man. But these women who are just doing it themselves, no, that should be banned. I don't want to see that on my timeline. It's like, you what?
Well, look, like someone said in the chat, like, there will be kids who are listening to all types of raunchy music. And it's like, I don't see y'all bringing the same energy. Some of y'all got that shit playing on your stream right now.
Some of them are not even giving that energy to the actual child who's trying to build a rap career right now. That kid who's like being put on everybody else's streams. Oh no, the kid was on Kai's stream and then he started talking about like,
I know who you're talking about. And that man was just saying all types of profanity, and everyone was just, Kai was trying to rein it in, but the chat was like, "Hey, yo, let's go, man. He funny."
He also talked about like raping a woman, and Kai was like, "Wait, hold on, what?" Like, that's the kind of thing that needs to be focused on, not all this bullshit of like, what if he's a booty?
Well, look. Like I said, there's plenty of things on the priority to-do list to get off the platform. And sure, if you want breasts to be on that list, hey, you go for it, buddy. But at the same time, I will ask you this. What do you think is more harmful to a child? Seeing breast? Oh, Lord! Deprivation! Or seeing I Show Speed, like, put a condom on his head with a room full of dry ice, lighting fireworks, blowing up his house, and then being like, oopsie poopsie, in the hospital for 6 days, but I'm back to do it again! And then we reward him with money, and the kid goes, I can blow up my house. What's worse?
What's worse? I mean, remember when, we're from the era of like Jackass. So remember when Jackass was like constantly like, hey, yeah, don't do this at home or whatever. And then they got paid like tons and tons of money to like basically kill themselves. I mean, they were from CKY. Can't kill yourself. Kids, of course, like younger kids, of course, tried to like emulate a lot of that shit. And like it spurred on like other things like Nitro Circus and like some other groups who did some of the same things. But like a lot of that shit was dangerous. Backyard wrestling, I think, was another like big influence on the culture like that, where like some kids were like, yo, I can just have some wrestling going on in my backyard and it's gonna be totally fine. Safe moves out here. And then kids were like dying from some of these moves and stuff. I think I remember one specifically, I think you might have mentioned this before, where like two kids were wrestling in like a basement or some shit, and they had like light bulbs and like broken glass on the fucking floor, and dude like choke slammed his buddy into the glass, and I think his buddy either got brutally injured or died. And it's like that kind of shit. Kids are gonna be stupid. Okay,
hey, there was a case before that where he's like, he killed his younger brother. How? It was a goddamn pile driver.
Like kids are going to be stupid, and like yes, we should do as much possible to like prevent that from happening. But I don't think them seeing any of the shit that's on Twitch is going to like turn them into like punished, traumatized like people or anything like that. Mind you, I do think Twitch should just do a little bit do better to like filter out that shit from people who are not of age to be like seeing the 18 plus streams, or like do better to prevent people from just accessing the 18 plus streams. But right now it seems like they do as much as like your average.
Well,
like,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I hear what you're saying, but I can tell you exactly what's going to happen, because they're going to be like, oh, well, if you're 18 plus stream, you should blur the thumbnail. Believe me when I tell you, every small, medium, or hell, even some of the larger streamers, y'all just playing a regular rated M for mature game, or you just happen to swear a lot, but everything else is kosher, your discoverability tanks. If we see you on the feed and it's just censor bar, can't see it, it's blurred.
Well,
so you can't have that.
You don't have to make those streams 18 plus, especially now with the like clause of like nudity like in games being like a lot more lax. The artistic nudity shit that you guys are supposed to like actually process, but we all knew that people were not gonna.
But it's crazy. It's crazy they got the VTubers out of here before they got the.
Look. Hentai has to be fought quickly and swiftly. It must be addressed, because you give them an inch, they will take 10 miles, and we saw that.
Hey, you're right. You're right. You're right. En masse too, because you ain't got to worry about like, do I have the body confidence to put my bazungas on Main Street? Nah, man. Hey, CGI computer graphic engineer, get on it. Rev them titties up. You know what it's time for?
Oh man, like it's just...
mommy milker mania, brother.
God. So yeah, Twitch rolled back the artistic nudity stuff. so that they could like get the wild ones out of here and like reevaluate, because the wording was just not, it was not good. Like I understand saying artistic nudity should have like told people like we're only gonna allow like, you know, nudity where it's okay, it's fine, you know, like for, you know, someone drawing like an artistic thing and it's not about someone being like horny, nude, or whatever, any of that shit. Or like you're playing a game and there's like, I don't know, like a titty bust out, or you're playing Baldur's Gate and, you know, maybe you tried to skip the sex scene, but like, you know, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, like it flashed like a titty or something, or like an asshole or a goblin, you know, like something like that, and it showed up on stream. You shouldn't get banned for that, but people took that as, oh shit, we can bust out. I'm gonna draw some dicks. And it was like, oh no. Like so I saw like I saw another podcast, someone like mentioned that there's the like get the fuck out of here clause of things, where it's like, you know, that you and I both know that when there are rules set, there are just certain things where people are like, okay, this technically isn't in the rules, so I can do it. But you look at them and you're just like, get the fuck out of here. You know that's not going to be allowed when they like realize that you've like made this loophole. Right now, it's the censor bar thing where it's like, as long as a woman is, as long as a person is like covered properly, that they can like present themselves on stream. So like, for example, if a woman like has her tits out, as long as she like covers like her nipples and like, you know, whatever like other parts that might be whatever, you know, that might show or whatever, then it's allowed. So, you know, you're seeing a lot more of streamers. Some streamers either do the camera angle right here, or they're literally putting like paper like censor bars on their new bits.
I just clicked on the just chatting directory, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they kicked it into high gear, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, some of them got banned already for because like what is it, Morgpie, I think Gen Fox, who was the one that was going viral, and then someone else, they did like a co-stream where they were all together in the same room doing it, and it's like you know damn well, one, it's gonna get enough notoriety that people are going to post screenshots and shit like that, and two, once Twitch sees that you're doing this, they're going to be like, come on now, like you know better than this, you're going to get banned. Like,
it's crazy that you say that, because the top row is all the people doing the new meta, and in this, the first thing on the second row is Enzim with the torque off.
See, that's what I'm saying.
So it's exactly what you was talking about. I sees it.
Like that being in the recommended like algorithm side of things, they got to do a little bit more for that, because it's like, even my recommendations has like a lot of like has a few streams like that, because like I know people who may do like an 18+ stream here or there, or like I've gone to some of these like just chatting, you know, the hot tub like streams or whatever, to check them out, to be like, what is it that's keeping people here? Because a lot of them are boring. A lot of them are legitimately boring, because it's just like a girl sitting there with like her boobs like,
No, you see, you gotta understand. There are some people.
Some are like some of them are legitimately entertaining while they're doing that. Like, look, man, Strawberry Tabby is the reason why she's so weird. I found out the secret. She's a speedrunner. Yep.
Oh, well, see, first of all, anybody who's like a speedrunner. Something up here is already just, the calculations ain't calcing.
There was a stream the other day, whatever, like her thing popped up in my recommended, and I was like, oh, isn't that weird girl with I Show Speed? What does she do? And it had the video game screen there, so I was like, what is she doing? And she booted up Mario 64 and then was just doing a run, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? She was just doing a run of Mario 64, like an actual speed run, and she was like doing like, you know, like real shit. So I'm like, it's all connected now, you know, because I think Gen Fox was a music streamer who did fairly well, but she also like was one of the people who like criticized, like, I could do half the work that I'm doing right now and become like a hot tub streamer or like a booba streamer, and I would make twice as much as I'm making right now. And so she converted to doing like, hot tub streams, like, the titty streams or whatever the fuck you want to call them. And she's doing obviously much better than she did in her like music days. And I think she just got banned and she's on kick.com, which is, that's the other thing.
Yeah, but you know what's funny though? There's a lot of people who are criticizing this, but when it's something that they support that may not necessarily be considered a cultural norm, a social norm, so to speak. They're like, nah, man, you should let the market decide. You should let the money talk. And it's like, okay, they're letting the money. People are buying it.
Yeah.
People are buying in. Oh, or does it not work because now it's something that you don't like?
See, that's the thing that always needs to be addressed whenever we talk about this, like 18 plus, content side of like Twitch, Kick, whatever streaming platforms. These things are working for a lot of people. Well, these things are working for a lot of people because they're in high demand because of you. That's right, you guys are going there watching it, donating all that shit.
There would be no reason for them to do it if it was like guaranteed silence, no monetary dollars coming in. Princess Morebucks not in the club throwing the money.
Exactly. Like, if Aiden Ross being a shithead didn't get as many clicks as it does now, he would not be like that anymore. Like 100%, he would just not be like that anymore. He would tone himself down because he knows that the bag is more important for like, his career than being a shithead or like being opinionated or whatever the fuck he's doing, But as soon as he got to Kick, or like when he was like making his transition to Kick, he was more like opinionated or more like outrageous or whatever, so he can get in the news because people are clicking on it. People are like, Aiden Ross said, what? Oh my God. Not like a white man being transformed, like that kind of shit. And it was
look, a normal person saying just relatively normal, regular things. No one cares, bro. You normal. You just like everybody else. You just buddy. You just gal. You just out here. But when you say things that are very, let's just say they roll up the sleeve and strike a chord, tap a vein, things that are a little edgy, all of a sudden everybody on the platform has something to say. Why? Because I don't know if you've seen how the algorithm works or how you've seen things on social media as a whole, but the easiest way to get to the top is to piggyback off of something else. That's the easiest way.
Yep.
So somebody does something dumb, a lot of people, they can't help themselves. If one person dunks on you, that should be enough, especially if that tweet that's dunking on you goes viral. No. Everybody got to have their own variation of the dunk tweet, which means more people are going to see the original offense. And then some people will then go, you know what? They're so dumb. I'm going to take my stream and we're going to hate watch their stream. So now you're cultivating their audience and you don't even know who these people are. Because these people are going to watch you, reply to you, make videos about you. Because drama sells. And it's always sold. Now you mix drama with sex and perverse content. Come on, bro. That's a layup.
Yeah. You can't get mad.
We know why they're doing it.
Because like society in general like supports that sort of thing. Sex sells is something that was like eternally told in our generation all the time by like marketing dude. He walks into a room. Oh, you guys trying to sell milk? Sex it up. Put that milk on a woman. Now it's gonna sell. And then you had Got Milk commercials where like someone's pouring milk on a woman's like face or some shit, and it's like, damn, now I want to buy some milk. That was all the rage.
Do you remember the era of GoDaddy commercials?
Yep.
They sell in web domains.
Yep.
And it was like, go now to watch more. And it was like, oh, Got a half chub. Gotta get the full mass. Where's that GoDaddy.com?
The only
The sad part is, I'm sure somebody was down bad enough during those times. Was there a payoff? Like when you went to go see more, was it like a bit? Like she just sits down, like buttons up, and just like gets on the computer and like teaches you how to make a website, or
no?
Because I don't know. I never looked.
She was never involved with that. Like you get there and you see blank white page. Hey, GoDaddy.com. You want a website? All right, that's it. You know, and like. What is it? We didn't get out of that era until like what Tim and Eric started making commercials, and it was like, okay, now what if we just make the commercials so random that people are like, what? Oh my god, what the hell? That was a car commercial, you know? And then they like buy the car, you know? So now commercials are one of two things: they're either horny or they're like random in order for people to like care about them. I mean, remember Crypto.com having that commercial with Larry David? Like, it was like, hey, all the shit that happened in that commercial had nothing to do with crypto. But Larry David was like, damn, I want to buy some cryptocurrency on Crypto.com. And that was their selling point.
Not crypto.
And now it's gone.
I mean,
so
hey, it comes quick. But you know what else comes quick? Accusations, fame, and plagiarism. Because some of y'all probably have seen the H-Bomber guy video about it. It's got like 8 million views. Like he's been racking them up over there. And he came to find out that a lot of the video essayists that many people love to parrot and use as gotcha moments and arguments that they're not smart enough to come up with their own opinion on. Well, it turns out half of them have decided that they were going to just steal from other people, which means they're just like you. They wanted to participate in the conversation they were not qualified to be in.
Look, that one guy that went viral for like a couple of days to a week, he was not lying when he was just like, yeah, no, you want to see how I make my content? I come here, I look out for the, top content creator and what they've been doing. I take their video, I save it, and then I, take this and I upload it on my channel. It's like, yeah, I just steal their content and then that's how I make my money. And I'm a millionaire now. That's the game, unfortunately. So,
I mean, look at TikTok. TikTok is the best example. How many times have you seen something that is formatted just like this podcast, except remove one of us and put a viral video or a comedian's comedy set or a scene from a movie, and it's just some dude sitting there or some chick sitting there like this? And that goes on for some time, and it goes, "Woo, man, woo." Oh, Cat Williams sure is funny. Hey, remember to hit the heart, follow, and we'll be back with more comedy. Oh, and it's like
the worst one where someone like just takes someone's video. They do like a stitch. Stitch is what it's called, right? Yeah, they do a stitch and then they're just like,
oh yeah, the point up. Oh my god, but it be getting me hot. That be getting me so hot, bro. I be getting tight. I'd be like, dude. Like, it'll be a whole video about someone like who did hours, months worth of research coming to culminate in a impactful video. And then they'll play some weird, like slow trap version of a Drake song in the background. And then they'll just sit there at the bottom of it. And then that voice to text pops in there. This guy's spitting some real shit. You gotta listen. And then it just cuts to the person's original work. And then they'll be like, follow, hit the plus. And it's like, you didn't do anything, bro.
Yep. That, look, being a fraud is so easy and profitable on platforms like TikTok because they don't give a fuck about like what you're uploading. They just give a fuck about people paying attention to it. So why wouldn't you just straight up take the video? Like, okay. It's gotten to a point where certain like content creators who had like their own like podcasts and like, things like that, never uploaded clips of their podcasts to TikTok. And so other people would just take the clips and then just upload them themselves. And that forced the content creators to be like, now we've made our own official TikTok channel so that you guys know that this is the real us uploading this, not whoever the fuck has claimed to be us. You know, like I think like Castle Super Beast is like one of the examples of that, where like there was like a Castle Super Beast TikTok channel that was just like uploading random clips, and they had no idea. So then Wooly was like, yeah, I made the TikTok channel. Now we have the official Castle Super Beast TikTok channel, where our editor, you know, takes our clips and puts it on TikTok for you guys to consume, because apparently you want that.
I'm telling you, TikTok, if you are a content thief, TikTok, this is your time. This is your era. All those reaction YouTubers, yeah, this is your platform. Go out there and seize the day, you thief. Go on.
But don't be like James Emerson though. Don't tell everybody it's yours. Like, don't steal people's words and then.
But you want to know what? But you want to know what's wild about people from James Somerton all the way over to the Illuminati girl is that they get to a point to where not only do they steal the video and its content, they download the video and put the video in their video, but they just zoom in to get past the watermarks and the content ID flags.
Sometimes they don't even do that.
I mean, you're right. Or I don't know. Do you remember? I don't think it was James Somerton. I think it was the other one. But they had they said that they didn't see the video and they never watched the video and they didn't steal the content. But they had posted 5 days before the video came out something along the lines of, "Man, I'm in the lab working hard," and it's like the Adobe Premiere window. But on the Adobe Premiere window, it's the video they said they never watched being edited into the video that they then quote word for word and say, "No, those were my words, baby. Never stole that from anybody. Never even heard of them."
Yeah, that one was James Somerton.
Okay, that was like how are you that inept? It should be physically impossible for you to be that incompetent at the only thing you know how to do.
So I had no idea who this dude was before the H-Bomber guy video. So I saw people talking about him when the video first came out, and I was like, I don't know who he is, but people keep saying that his career is over or some shit like that. So I looked up his YouTube channel, I went there, and I was like, this shit is boring, you know? and then I watched the H-Bomber guy video, and he was like, yeah, this guy just stole other people's words. And I'm like, why does he say it in such a like boring monotone way? Like, and apparently it's because his content is supposed to be educational or whatever, but like he just stole from like actual books that people wrote and just read them. And it got me thinking there's a market for that, you know, like you could literally just read books on YouTube and people will watch it because it's still more engaging to some people than having to actually take the paper and do this, you know? So he could have just marketed his content as like, I'm reading these books so that you can get the educational content out of it. And maybe there's some you know, copyright things related to it that he didn't want to like approach with that, but that would have been worlds better than just stealing other people's work and like making this weird amalgamation of like bullshit and then saying like, yes, I am the most brilliant scholar and my videos are so amazing and people, you know, love me as a reputable source. And it's like, nah, bro.
It's like don't ever use the word source on yourself because you didn't cite any of the things you stole. So I mean, hey, it is what it is.
Like,
but you know,
we've all met this person. Like, we've all met this type of person who acts like they're like the most, like they're the smartest person in the room. They know all the things. They do all the things so well. They're the most sophisticated human being ever. And like all the while, when they start talking about shit, you're like, listen, you're like, this person's a fraud. Like 100% a fraud. Like they're.
Hey, sometimes you just have to let these people talk themselves into their own corner
because
they'll get in the coffin.
Right.
You don't have to do anything. They will put themselves in the coffin, nail it shut, and then when it's shut and in the ground, 6 feet under, dead to rights, you be like, so did you learn your lesson? They be like, what you talking about? I ain't in no coffin. I just wanted to lay down. I'm tired.
That's why you have to appreciate the like H-Bomber guy video, because he went out of his way to listen to all of the hours and hours of streams that this dude did to find all the like clips of him just straight up lying about shit when people were like, hey, you know that video that you just put out, there's some parts of it that sound a lot like this book that I just read. And he's like, what? No. Everything was my words. There's nothing like that. Whoever's saying that, they're against me and they hate the gay people. And it's like, sir? Huh?
Well, that's where you're wrong, Jared. It is the gay people.
Like, he got away with it for so long because every time someone was like, hey, this sounds a lot like a book that I read or like someone else's video, he's like, this person hates gays and they're attacking me because I'm a gay man. Get them. And that's it. Like, and that also was a part of the H-Bomber guy video of like talking about the people who gave him criticism and how they got fucking like harassed off of whatever platform, usually Twitter, just for pointing out, hey, you might have made a mistake here. I think you might have copied someone. Maybe you should change that a little bit.
Sometimes the someone is the person who they copy. Like, brother, I said that. He hates the gays. No, I said that. What do you like that's a wild position. Speaking of which, speaking of wild positions, things getting stolen. Do like game development companies and like publishers need to like really anchor down their security? Because this happens almost too often. Now, granted, when you're as big as, Bandai Namco, Insomniac, etc., clearly you have things that people want and want access to. So I guess when you have such a giant pool of resources that people want to get their hands into, it's probably tough to stop everything, especially with how sophisticated ransomware is becoming. But as you guys may have seen, the Tekken 8 beta was cracked. They're not going to release these betas on PC anymore. All right? It's not going to happen. However, some people have even found a way to hack the Sony version on the PlayStation. So, I mean, your guess is as good as mine on where the choke point's at. But if you have it on PC, it's basically fully cracked. You're getting access to characters that like aren't even in the game. Well, aren't even playable in the beta. They're in the game, but not playable in the beta, which is kind of insane. Because as you told me earlier, there were people who, when the Shaheen trailer dropped, were like, "No, I already played him. I already know what's going on over there. He's underwhelming.
Yeah,
he's not good." And it's like, brother, the trailer came out. You talking about the trailer? Oh no, I had hands-on experience. What?
It's very like, I don't know. It's very strange. It's like as soon as I saw the announcement of the demo being out, I immediately saw like tweets and posts of people being like, "Oh, it's cracked. It's already been cracked. The PC demo of Tekken 8 has been cracked." But like a couple of days prior, maybe like a week prior, I'm seeing like footage of people saying that they're playing the demo, and I'm seeing like characters that are not in the demo. So I'm like, were you at like Bandai Namco playing the full version? Because I know they let people do that for that weird content creation like week where they're like, here's the move list of all these characters that that we announced for the game. Here's Reina's move list. Here's Yoshimitsu's move list. All that shit. Here's a gameplay of like 2 people playing these characters or like 2 CPUs playing the characters or whatever. Here's all this like information on the game, which is good if you're okay with being spoiled by things, but it's also like, damn, bro, you're like basically telling me everything that's in the game before I even like have a chance to boot it up on my end, and that's like taken away from the like the fresh game experience of like booting it up and being like, let's figure it out. Shit gets figured out before the game even comes out now. And this is definitely like the people talked about the Street Fighter 6 like beta crack, and how some people were like grinding the beta crack and like maybe it gave them a leg up for like the first like, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks of the game, but overall it didn't matter. For Tekken, I think it's gonna matter a little bit more, just because like the demo was supposed to be like hey, this is you getting to like mess around with the game, get familiar with the system or whatever. But having access to characters that are literally like not supposed to be available in the demo will give people a huge leg up. Because the game's not coming out for like 3 more weeks. I think 4 weeks. Yeah, 4 weeks. So,
but the funny thing about that is, like, most of the people who are going to be having access to this type of stuff are not people who are like actually like lab demons,
yeah,
and need other people to come up with the stuff for them to steal. So they might get a little bit ahead, but like it actually takes someone who's actually good at the game to actually unlock, the secrets to these characters. So yeah, you might have some time with it, but most of these people really ain't gonna learn anything that's like genuinely practical in any way, shape, or form.
oh yeah,
So I'm not necessarily too worried, but it does suck that, we could be like a couple weeks from now, and then it becomes a big, well-known thing, and so many details about the game or the story mode and various other things that have to deal with the lore or game modes that lie within the game getting spoiled, and that would suck.
that's the thing that like annoyed me about the like content drop, because it was like, here's like the first like 30 minutes of the story right here, and I'm like, I don't want to see that before the game is even close to being like, I don't want to see that a month before the game gets released. A story trailer, that's cool, but like the first like 30 minutes to an hour of the actual story is like,
Yeah, but that's weird because a lot of games do that now.
yeah,
Like they'll be with like IGN of like the first 20 minutes of whatever the fuck game, and it's like, maybe I'm just in the minority, but like I'm just like, why?
right.
Like, I just don't understand why you would need to spoil it. Like, if you said, here's a random section of the game, like, random as fuck, like 8 hours in, and, I'll be playing the game and I'll long have forgotten about the video through playing the game, and then we get to that section, it's like, oh, this is a section from that video I watched. That's neat. Fine. So be it. But when it's like the intro, it's like, man, when I buy the game and start playing it, I'm like, man, I've seen all this. This is busy work. Now the first 20 to 30 minutes of the game, it's just like, yeah, been here, which kind of makes that a little bit underwhelming, even when it didn't have to be. But I digress, because moving after that wasn't even the biggest leak that we had this week. As we all know, there's now a playable version of the Wolverine leaked Super Omega Alpha concept, because there's no way the game is even going to remotely look anywhere near or play anywhere near what that build is. So it really ultimately doesn't even matter that it exists, but it sucks that it does. Not just because, personal data of the employees got out, but it's just like, why are people so gung-ho on covering this stuff and like showing this stuff and just spoiling it for everybody? Like, conceptually, I can't understand that. Especially when a lot of these people, their livelihood is contingent on these things not only being kept secret, but being able to have that ability to surprise the player base whenever the game is supposed to drop. And now you have the whole thing where they've released basically the entire timesheet of all these games and all the things they planned on developing. And it's like, I don't think you'll understand the course correction that can happen. Those games, people might be like, we're not even gonna make them anymore. Since the shock and awe of it and the allure of the projects is no longer there, we're just gonna can them. We'll do something else. Call them audible.
Yeah,
It happens sometimes.
that sort of thing really sucks. And I mean, for some games, it's fine if they do that, because some games were the idea of certain games were a mistake. Like it's like, hey, yeah, Last of Us Online, you guys want that? It's like, no, we don't. Why? Because to fucking you've killed Last of Us 1 for everybody. Like you remade the remake of Last of Us 1. Like, please. If you haven't heard, Last of Us Online has been canned. Why? Because I don't know, they weren't able to keep up with it, and the hype for that game died out. Maybe if they release it during the time the second season of the show comes out, like it would have been good, but like nah. But yeah, okay, Insomniac getting hacked. It really seems like someone on staff had to be involved, because like the amount of information that got out is so insane for someone to have like gotten access to it. Like a build of a build of the Wolverine game, a list of all the games that they're going to have like coming out between like 2024 and like 2026, 2027. I think maybe even 2028, like that type of shit. God, well, it's like a list of like all of the actors who are going to be in the Wolverine game, like all kinds of like insane information, like information on the employees and their like personal information, like all that stuff. Whoever hacked Sony is either one of the best hackers out there, or they like they were given some kind of backdoor from someone who's like on the inside. Like it's
not the old inside job gag.
Look, man, it's one of those things where like if they either didn't have any sort of like security behind this stuff and someone just like accidentally got in there, a la like hackers where that kid accidentally hacked into the like the Pentagon or like the Gibson or whatever. And he was just fucking around and he's like, oh my God, I've just found government information on a crazy conspiracy theory or on a crazy like plot to defraud the government of money. Whoa. You know, that kind of shit. Or someone else, like someone on the inside was like, hey, you know, I don't really like that they're like giving me all this crunch and that I have to work all the time. So you know what? I'm about to quit. Here's some like information on how you can access it. Why don't you put that shit out into the wild? You didn't hear it from me, and then they like take the overcoat and like leave. You know, like but fucking it sucks because one of the exciting parts about new games, about like you know new projects is the announcement of these things, or like you know the first trailer that's like, hey, we're doing it, or like here's what we've gotten so far. None of this shit was supposed to be seen. GTA 6 had the same issue, and now that the kid who did it he's never leaving jail. Like it's not worth.
They said, welcome to life in the hospital, buddy. You're cooked.
It's most likely
you're done.
That whoever did this was probably like, I don't know, some like 16-year-old who's got a lot of time on his hands or some shit like that. Time and skills. And hasn't like monetized those skills yet. But it's never going to be worth it. Like, again, GTA kid, the one who hacked Rockstar and leaked the plot of GTA 6 and also like footage of GTA 6 and like being able to go to like Waffle House and shit like that. That kid has ruined his life. Like 100%. He apparently is getting like life in prison, which, whoa, getting life in prison for a hack like that. That's wild. That's wild. Some people don't get life in prison for like literally killing someone. So,
hey, you remember this? Hey, if you got enough money, remember what Nintendo's capable of. If you have enough money, you got enough capital to make things happen. Believe you me, they can get you up out of here.
They'll put you in life in prison without people even knowing that you went to prison just for emulating one of their games. So, like, you know, just yeah, like it sucks for Sony and Insomniac that this happened. This is like what, the third or fourth time that Sony has been involved in any sort of like big like hacking situation. Because that was how was it Amazing Spider-Man 2 got out before it was even in theaters. You know, like shit like that is really dumb. And I don't know, like there's no point to it. Like all the footage, unfortunately I've seen the footage of like the Wolverine game and it's not done, and that's all that needs to be said about it. It should be ignored. The list of the games is hype, but like they weren't ready to release
it. It would have been a lot more hype if we were just sitting down chilling one day and they said, and here comes a world premiere. And then we saw it for the first time ever, not knowing it years in advance, because some of this stuff was like in like 2030. Like this stuff is far off.
Right. It just makes me think of the Elfelt trailer for Guilty Gear. I had no hype for it when it actually got shown during the Game Awards, because I saw freaking screenshots of like the trailer and the mode that was getting announced for the game also, like that same morning, because like because some guy who posts like deals on games, like not even like game information or anything like that. He's not a game journalist or anything like that. He's just like, hey, DNF Duel is free on the Epic Game Store. You know, that kind of post. He posted, oh, hey, here's the Guilty Gear announcement for Elfeld. And it was like, bro, what? Like I would have liked to see that. Why?
Because what's crazy is like, it's like some of these leaks come out like hours before they were supposed to come out. And in some cases, it's course correction.
Yeah.
It'll be like, oh, we didn't plan on revealing this until next week, but since the leak's out,
GTA 6
then they just throw it out now. Yeah.
Like, that shit is so dumb. Like can y'all stop ruining the hype for things that you love? Because I get that you're anxious or whatever, or that you're like impatient about these things coming out, but like, bro, it will feel so much better if you just let the actual devs and the actual team release this stuff when they want to, because they are aware that the anticipation is building, and when they release the trailer, that's when people will need to see it to like have that hype moment of like, yeah, I want to buy this or whatever. If someone told me, if there was a leak that was like Marvel vs. Capcom 4 is coming out in like 2 years or some shit like that, I would be upset that someone like told me this and then maybe showed me like a screenshot of like, I don't know, someone's like blurry ass computer in the like dev room while they're like programming the game or something like that, or like a model of like Captain America doing a T pose or some shit. You know, I would be so pissed, because you know the first trailer for that game would be the hypest moment in gaming history for that week at least, and we should be allowed to have those moments. And it's dumb that hackers or that leakers and hackers and whatnot are like taking all the shit away. Bro, they released all the costumes for Tekken 8 before you even get your hands on the game. I wanted to see, like, be surprised by costumes.
I'm not gonna lie, as someone who doesn't necessarily care about Tekken, I thought that was super lame.
Yeah. Like, stop showing me all this shit, bro. Like, let me play the game and find out myself. Not all of us want to be like the fighting game grinder who just plays ranked for like 20 hours a day, 7 days a week or whatever, so that they can go to their local and like do kind of well, like
8th out of 12. No, there's some people who legit, they be like, I'm dedicated to the grind. And they go 1 and 2. And it's like, I'm not trying to disrespect the 1-2ers and the 0-2ers, all right? But there's some of y'all put way too much time in to be going 0-2. I'm just keeping it a buck with you. And like, I'm not, like, y'all don't even be at stack locals.
Hey man, fighting games are hard.
They are.
And unfortunately, you can't get like new players to like stick with a lot of these games, because instead of actually like helping those new players like be better and like have some longevity in the game, you just want somebody to beat up on because like, what is it, top player or whatever in your region like beats up on you all the time. Like bro, your trauma is not our fault, okay? like if you want more people to play your game so that your game is like alive for like years and years, you gotta like cultivate the community. You gotta like allow new players to have fun with the game and continue having fun while they're learning. If they show up to their local and just keep going 0-2 after spending like $20 a week, they're just not going to show up anymore. I'm going to tell you that much right now.
Well, I mean, that's exactly why they're never going to raise those local prices. You might see them 5 times a year.
Yeah.
It's like they gonna treat this like it's traveling to a major. Like, nah, it's too steep for my blood, young man. Y'all be running 3-player locals.
Bro, it's like the freaking Mortal Kombat scene. Like the NRS scene in Georgia is always so like, the game comes out, people show out for like the first 2 or 3 tournaments, and it's real fun, it's real nice. People are playing the game, they're grinding, and then like NRS shit comes out, somebody, maybe Sonic Fox released some like bullshit video of like, look at this setup, and then everyone's like, damn, this game is hard, and then like half the freaking scene just stops showing up. They're like, it's not worth it, man, I'm already broke as is, I'm going to McDonald's instead, that kind of shit.
No. So I can explain that, and I'm sure it's like this for most games. But like when you have like a scene that has a solid amount of competitors, there's a lot of people who in the NRS, they play the game because they think they can make money off the game, but then they realize if there's 30 of us who all think that we really good at the game, only 3 people walking away with the money.
Yeah.
And then eventually it just gets small real fast. At least with the Tekken players, y'all are all homies. A lot of the NRS folks, they are not homies with each other. They just come in here to play the game, collect a small little free IHOP on the game. We'll get a little IHOP dinner and go back home.
Yeah, I mean the Tekken scene builds up people. Like people will show up, they'll play, they'll have fun, have good times. They continue playing the game with each other. They grind it out, whatever, and they all get better with each other. Some of the older Tekken players may fall off or be like, I'll wait till the next game because I'm frustrated or I have life things or whatever. But they'll come back, they'll play, they'll meet the new people. They grind it out. But the NRS scene is kind of like. You play the dude, you lose to, I don't know, the same 2 or 3 dudes, 2 different locals, and then you get pissed and you're just like, you know what, I'm not going to show up anymore, or I'm going to go play a different game, that type of shit, which is dumb because you're only going to make like $50 at your local at best.
Because there's that, but then they also have the issue with MK where it's not really an issue, but they got 37 online tournaments. There are new online tournaments every week. And then some people just realize I really don't have to leave my house to play.
Street Fighter has the same problem. That's the main complaint about Capcom, the Capcom Cup structure this year. It's mostly been online tournaments and yeah, playing at home is nice and everything, but it's still online. It's very different from offline. It's always going to be different from offline. It doesn't matter how good the netcode is. It can't emulate offline. And some people are not going to understand that until...
But some people don't care.
Yeah.
Some people hate offline because the way that they interpret and how they enjoy playing the game doesn't work. And they're just like, why would I ever play the inferior... air quotes, inferior version of the game by playing it offline? In their head, oh, you can react to my drive rush? I don't want to relearn how to play the game. I'm just go where people can't react to it. Because there's some people who, I'm going to tell you the secret about a lot of fighting game players, all right? Secret cat's coming out of the bag.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people do not like the game that they actually are playing. They like winning at the game. That's what they enjoy. The actual structure of the game and the format and what's in it, they hate it. They loathe it. But they invested so much time, they can't turn back now. There are people, every time you see them, because I'm sure you've seen this, especially with Twitch streamers. Mm-hmm. Every 2 seconds, it's complaint. They loathe it. This guy's this girl's, they're dog shit, blah, blah, blah. And this game, so who the fucking designed that? Then they'll win with 1 HP. They'll win. And you think they'd be like, whew, did it? Nope, still complaining, going to the next match. And it's at any point in this, is there any actual enjoyment, or is it just proving that you're better at this task that keeps you here? Because I've told y'all many moons ago, the moment a game is no longer enjoyable to me, it's gone. You ain't got to worry about me making content for it anymore. The moment it's not enjoyable in any way, this is entertainment. I'm supposed to be entertained. I'm supposed to enjoy my time. If I'm watching a movie, we get 27, 35 minutes in, and that movie is a 2-pack of ass, it's gone. I will find something else to do. It's okay. But, I digress. It is what it is. And, maybe some of these people need to catch life in prison.
Look, man,
in a prison hospital.
You got to enjoy the game that you're playing, all right? If you don't enjoy the game anymore, take a break. you might come back to it and like reinvigorate that part of you that had fun in the first place. But if you're not having fun playing a tournament and shit like that, you take a break from that too. You don't have to play in tournament.
That's why I stopped playing Apex Legends. Apex Legends was fun for several seasons, and then they just kept changing stuff and then like all the stuff that I enjoyed about it wasn't there no more. So I stopped. I was good on that. The game became less about what, like, you know, the gunplay and more about what busted ass ability can a character have that's just innate to their kit.
Mm-hmm.
We got to go find these things called zip lines. Me with Valkyrie. What are we doing, man? This ain't the game no more. You got characters building walls. I'm like, this isn't Fortnite, brother. What are we doing?
Come on, man. Nah. You got to play the game now because it's got those Final Fantasy skins for you. Come on, bro.
I don't even play Final Fantasy itself. What do you mean? That wasn't for me. Although it was funny because I was like, Final Fantasy and Apex's audience are so far apart that I know that there were some Final Fantasy people who got really excited, and then they saw the outfits falling on Apex characters, and they were just like, man, we cut the Game Awards off, bro. This shit's ass.
Yep.
So, hey, to those of you who are in the center part of that Venn diagram of Final Fantasy and Apex fan, hey, you doing something out there, but shit, not a fan. But ultimately, I think that's about the end of this episode. We got all our topics out, in record time. My birthday is going to be on Saturday, and you may be asking, what are you going to be doing there, B+? I'm going to be watching Godzilla. Yep. That's what I'm going to do. And then after that, I'm going to be left the fuck alone. And then I'm going to sit there and tell everyone, don't make Rick and Morty season 8. Whatever y'all plan, just scrap the shit. It's okay.
Wait. Have you seen the last episode this season of Rick and Morty?
I did, but I am tired of these ups and downs where it's like, you give me 2 or 3 episodes of just hot garbage, and then you show me, but we can cook though. We can cook. And it's like, nah, I'm tired of this.
Well, I think it's because like they have different writers that do like different episodes. Cause like I know for the last episode, they got Heather Ann Campbell to do that one with which I think she was on Who's Line, but like she does like a podcast I listen to, Get Played Pod or whatever. And so she's like a new addition to the Rick and Morty like staff since like the season before this was season 6, I think. But yeah, she wrote this last episode, and like that one is that and any other episode I've seen her involved in have been like really good episodes. But this season was, yeah, you're right, up and down. It's like literally it'll be one episode that's like, oh, this is kind of nice. I'm getting used to the new, voices and whatnot. But this one was kind of good. And there'll be an episode that was just ass. It was just terrible.
Well, here's the thing. They want to have like, the weekly like monster of the week. We don't necessarily need a plot or a through line for some episodes. And then for some episodes, like, oh no, it's story, lore, and tying all loose ends together. But like, they be flipping the characters on their head. Like, you can't tell me that this character got over something, then for the next episode, they didn't get over anything. And then 2 episodes from then, nah, but I'm over it though. Like, no, you don't. That's not how you write a story.
Right.
And I get it. You have different writers. So obviously they're doing different things. These writers need to meet and hash some stuff. They need a lore keeper or something, bro. Because I'm tired of it.
Like,
shit makes me sick.
You can't have an episode where it gets confirmed why Rick doesn't just do anything to bring his wife back or like get her from a different universe or anything like that. And he gets his revenge, and it's like, okay, it's done. Now what? And the show literally is like, now what are you gonna do? And then the next episode is just him and Morty just fucking around, like just doing something.
That's what I mean.
And then the end of the season is like, okay, we're gonna kind of like address that with some like very deep philosophical shit, but it's not even about Rick. It's about Morty, and it's like, oh, fucking damn. It's like, look, you can't milk that anymore, and they know you can't milk that anymore. So like, either make a plot, like a long-lasting plot that like matters, make the decision that evil Morty made matter more and like incorporate that in the story more, or just
you don't even have to do that. But like,
just
you can't
don't.
have like Rick will have like 5 or 6 episodes in the season about I have learned to care and value other people's opinions and friendships. Very next episode, you're fucking dumb. I'm not talking to you, you fucking bozo. And it's like, what? And to the same character that he just valued in the last episode.
There is one thing that I noticed because I went back and rewatched the episode about Unity, and you know how like they had the government team that was gonna help Rick, and they had the alien that maybe predicts the future, and it drew the picture.
Yeah.
So that actually was a reference to the Sasquatch episode. I realized that it actually did.
The Sasquatch episode where he gets beat up. Yeah.
Yeah, it actually like they were just like, oh, this is a little Easter egg thing, you know? That was nice. But also you have to watch the entire season to really like process that properly. So like that sort of thing, I'm kind of over that. It's nice when you see it the first time, but then you're like, okay, but I'm not going to watch this like a second or third time, you know, because a lot of these episodes were not worth rewatching. Fuck, I only put on that episode just to have something on while I was eating. Like,
oh, you do that too?
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes I'd be thinking to myself, what am I going to watch while I cook this? Like, I'm cooking the food, and I'm like, this would go good to watch something. But I definitely don't want to watch no shit on YouTube. That's how I finished Jujutsu Kaisen.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's exactly how I caught up to Jujutsu Kaisen.
I've rewatched all of Jujutsu Kaisen at least 3 or 4 times now because I'm caught up on the manga, and like that series is so good at like taking everything that's been reference, everything that's been put in the lore, and like using it properly or making proper callbacks to it and shit like that. There are things like, okay, if you've seen season 1 of the anime, you'll see that, you know, Gojo makes a reference to Yuta. And you have no idea who this dude is when you first watch it, because it's just like, yeah, you know, he's a student, he's like really good or whatever, but he's not here. He's in Africa or whatever. He's in like Africa, you know, yeah. And then the movie comes out and you're like, oh, who is this guy? Oh, it's that one guy that they mentioned. And then you go back and you watch the episode and it's like, bro, you don't even know. Like, this guy is going to show up and he's going to wreck shop, you know, that kind of shit. And that, you know, builds hype for the next season. And then he's not even there. It's like, okay, but, you know, after all this shit happens, Yuta's going to show up and then, you know, whatever. And then, like, when he finally does, it's really hype. You know, you'll see all kinds of, like, little references to things. There's something in this current season where there's a moment between... Okay, there's a moment between Yuji and Choji, Choya, or whatever the fuck his name, the blood dude, where people are like, what the fuck is going on? Why is this guy responding to him like this? I don't get it. It actually gets explained later on, and like in a way that's really, really good. It's not some like half-ass like, oh, we need to go back and explain that type of bullshit. It was like, no, this was planned. And you can see that was planned even in that season and episodes prior to it. So, like, when you find that shit out, it's hype. But you have to, like, rewatch a lot of things to really, like, you know, appreciate a lot of that shit. Or, you know, some of the fight scenes are just fucking godlike. You know, like, this new season was really good. And I think, I don't know, maybe there's one more episode? Probably not. And... this current season, what happens in this current season is probably the most impactful thing in the entire series. And where the manga is at now, I'm not going to read it for like the next, I don't know, like next at least 4 or 5 chapters, because boy, there's some stupid shit going on right now. And that won't spoil any of it, but boy, howdy, I don't want to like even pay attention to it anymore, you know? And it's still better than Chainsaw Man. That's right. Chainsaw Man fans, fuck that. Nah.
But you want to know something funny?
What's up?
That a lot of people ain't talking about? Everyone talks, you know, a lot of people, they like talking about Boruto. You know how it goes, right?
Yeah.
Well, for those of you who don't know, 1,000 Year Blood War that shit's gas. That shit is
Oh
everything
yeah,
is cooked. We love it. Now, there's something that a lot of people may not know. At some point, after that ends, there is like a bonus chapter, and we could technically get a new anime out of it.
yeah,
Because it's also about Ichigo's son, and
yeah. We could get a Boruto out of the Bleach series if they want to.
And look, I would be kind of worried because there's not a manga for that. Like it'd be like an anime only thing, but like, hey, they got my boy Kubo in the building. Oh, I'm all for it. Lock me in. I'll watch it. Although it is funny when you find out who gets together at the end, because it's like all you Ichigo Rukia fans, y'all was lying to yourself for 3 decades, bro. Y'all need to pack it up.
It's God. There was like another series that did like a similar thing, but yeah, it's one of those things where you're like, oh, the freaking trailer for Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth or whatever. People are pissed that like, Cloud and Aerith are like, making out or whatever. And it's like, they're like, okay, but what about Tifa? Cloud and Tifa, no, that's Zack's girl. What is he doing? And it's like, the story.
What about Tifa?
It's one of those things where it's like, Cloud is a Zack stan. Like he's trying to steal Zack's life. That's like one of the like big aspects of Final Fantasy VII, that Cloud is actually just stealing Zack's life. So yeah, it is on brand that he would try to steal that man's girl when given the opportunity. It's weird that they're doing it in this remake, but who knows?
So how do you? So I think we may have talked about this before, but this is the last thing we'll talk about. How do you feel about the remake making the original canon and it's a time loop like Blaze Blue?
I think that's way better than just remaking Final Fantasy VII with like better graphics.
Okay.
Because it's like, okay, it's like when the Full Metal Alchemist anime came out and they intentionally like changed things so that people would not guess what was going on and shit like that. That was nice for like, I don't know, the first half of that series maybe, but then it got really fucking like lame and it was like, no, but we like the manga like way better. So then you get Brotherhood, which is faithful to the manga and it did everything really well. This is doing the reverse. You have the original Final Fantasy VII and now they're doing the adaptation that's like, hey, we're going to change some things around so you don't predict everything that's going to happen. And we're also going to keep it like more fresh. Maybe we're going to do some things that people want out of the series. Maybe Zack's going to come back to life. Maybe Aerith is not going to die, that kind of shit. And that's the only way to like keep that hype, because otherwise with the time it's taking for them to make this, people are going to get too
I already know how it ends. So I don't need to buy it 4 years later.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And like I know people who are just like, I'm not going to play it until like the last part comes out. And you know what? After playing the first one, you're right. You could do that because it's not, the game is good, but it's not the most amazing game you've ever played or any type of shit like that. Like you could wait.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could wait with Rebirth, maybe not. Like maybe Rebirth is going to be like so big and like have so many things that are going to make it so that like you can't wait, but you could wait. Look, I almost bought a PS5 for Final Fantasy 16, and I'm glad that I waited for that game to come out and the dust to settle, because I would have been really disappointed if I bought a whole ass PS5 just for that one game. But of course, they're never going to give me my PC version of the game until like we've all forgotten all about the game and its DLC.
True.
Bro, it's hard being a PC player, bro. Like between betas and demos for fighting games not being things that devs want to do anymore, because people like Gremlins immediately like hack that shit and they're like, now I have the whole game for free. Like between that and fucking devs just being like, oh well, this is a Sony exclusive for the first 6 months, like that, and then you having to wait or buy a PS5, or, it's just trash.
Sucks.
I mean, being an Xbox owner might be a little bit worse because there's just some games that for some reason they just won't put out on Xbox, and I don't even understand why now. There are some games that I found out are not on Xbox, and I'm just like, what is?
Is there a point to it not being there?
Yeah, like why did it take so long for Strive to come out on Xbox? Like hello, what's up with that?
Hey, your guess is as good as mine. But anyways, y'all take care. We're gonna wrap it up here. We'll see you. Well, maybe not next week because it's Christmas and New Year's.
Oh yeah,
I have no idea where I'm going to be at that time.
Yeah, we can take that week off.
Yeah, we'll see you in 2024, y'all. Y'all stay blessed.